Guyanese man drowns after jumping into Takata River to escape bee attack. Kaider News, a tragic incident occurred on Monday when a 20-year-old Guyanese man, identified as Narendra Mark Persad, drowned in the Takata River, which separates Guyana from Brazil. Reports from Brazilian media indicate that the incident took place around 12:45 p.m. near Porto, São Paulo. According to witnesses, Persad jumped into the river in a desperate attempt to escape a swarm of bees. Officers from Brazil's 5th Independent Border Military Police Company, 5th CIPIMFRON, and local firefighters initiated a search for Persad on Monday. Unfortunately, his body was not recovered until Tuesday morning. The body of Narendra Mark Persad has been taken to the Forensic Medical Institute, IMO, in Boa Vista for an expert examination before it is released for burial. 23-year-old businessman fined for narcotics possession. Larry Norton, a 23-year-old businessman from Tern Basin, Port Kaituma, and North Ruimveldt, pleaded guilty to possession of narcotics with the intent to traffic at the Port Kaituma Magistrates Court. Norton was charged last Wednesday and subsequently fined $583,740 or sentenced to 12 months in prison. Detained activist Melly Mel to appear before new U.S. immigration judge next Friday. News source Guyana. Detained political activist Melissa Atwell Holder, known as Melly Mel, is now scheduled to appear before a U.S. immigration judge on Friday, March 28. She was originally set to appear on June 25, but an update to the court records has revealed the new date. Additionally, a new judge has been appointed to hear her case. Atwell Holder was taken into custody last Thursday by the U.S. Department of Homeland Security and was later transferred to a U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement Center in Louisiana. During Friday's hearing, the complaint against Atwell Holder will be officially presented, and the timeline for her attorney's response to the government's complaint will be established. News source also understands that a bond hearing could take place during this initial appearance. PNCR/APNU debunks malicious claim that Melly Mel's Vigil was a protest against Trump's immigration policy. The PNCR/APNU wishes to address and debunk the false narrative that has circulated regarding the vigil held yesterday at the Square of the Revolution in support of social media influencer Melissa Melly Mel Atwell Holder. Reports alleging that the event was a protest against the Trump administration's immigration policy are completely unfounded. At no point during their speeches did opposition leader Aubrey C. Norton or any other PNCR/APNU representative mention or criticize the U.S. president or his administration. The focus of the vigil was solely on the concerning actions of the PPP government, particularly regarding their attempts to silence dissenting voices and infringe upon the basic human rights of citizens. We urge the public to remain vigilant and discerning, as we anticipate further misinformation from the PPP and its supporters as the election approaches. Family alleges student was brutalized by head teacher over hairstyle. Ministry of Education probing incident. A disturbing incident has emerged from Skeldon High School, where a family alleges that their younger sister, Shondell Bourne, a student at the school, was assaulted by the head teacher over her hairstyle. The incident reportedly occurred yesterday when Shondell was standing in the corridor with 2 other students. According to the family, the head teacher approached the group and questioned one student's hairstyle. She then turned her attention to Shondell, declaring that her hairstyle was inappropriate for school. When Shondell inquired whether her hairstyle was indeed inappropriate, the head teacher responded affirmatively in a confrontational manner. The situation escalated when the head teacher demanded that Shondell remove her mask. Shondell, who was feeling unwell, explained that she could not take off her mask due to sickness. In response, the head teacher allegedly grabbed her face and attempted to pull the mask off, prompting Shondell to hold on tightly to it. This confrontation resulted in the head teacher reportedly grabbing Shondell's arms and pushing her against the wall, causing her to sustain an injury to her back. Following the incident, Shondell has been experiencing back pain and headaches attributed to the shock of the altercation. Notably, She had visited the doctor just a week prior due to a medical history that includes an upper respiratory infection. The family has reported the incident to the Springlands police station. However, authorities have noted that the head teacher was eventually called to the police station but declined to respond to the report. The Ministry of Education has announced that it is investigating the incident to ascertain the facts surrounding the altercation and to take appropriate action. Former Anna Regina Mayor, Pastor Rajendra Prabhulal, passes away. Guyana Chronicle. The Essequibo region is in mourning following the recent passing of Pastor Rajendra Prabhulal, affectionately known as Pastor Rocky. Pastor Prabhulal was a respected and multifaceted leader, having served as the former mayor of the town of Anna Regina and as the information officer for Region 2. At the time of his death, he was the pastor of Voice of Faith Miracle Ministry and a familiar voice as a radio host on Radio Essequibo 95.5 FM. His contributions to the fields of communication and public information were widely recognized as instrumental in fostering community engagement and raising awareness across the region. Pastor Rocky was known for his deep dedication to public service, his compassionate spirit, and his ability to connect with individuals from all walks of life. Pastor Rocky's legacy of service and kindness is expected to leave a lasting impact on the Essequibo region and its people. He will be remembered fondly by the community he served so diligently. Armed robbery suspects from Plaisance charged with multiple offenses. Orwin Smith, a 25-year-old mason, and Shawana Sobers, a 34-year-old clothes vendor, both from Lot 20 Prince William Street, Plaisance, East Coast Demerara, were arrested on March 15, 2025, and charged today, March 19, 2025, with several offenses related to firearm possession. They face the following charges. Possession of firearm without license, contrary to Section 16(2) of the Firearms Act, Chapter 1605, specifically, 9mm pistol. Possession of ammunition without license, contrary to Section 16(2) of the Firearms Act, Chapter 1605, specifically, 11 9mm live rounds of ammunition. The duo was apprehended on March 15, 2025, at their residence. At about 11:45 HRS today, Smith and Sobers appeared at Sparendam Magistrates Court No. 1 before His Worship Magistrate Clive Nurse. Orwin Smith pleaded guilty to the firearm charge and was fined $15,000, Guyana currency, while receiving an 18-month prison sentence. Shawana Sobers pleaded not guilty and was granted bail in the amount of $100,000. The matter was adjourned to May 6, 2025. Additionally, Orwin Smith and another suspect, Cleveland Cross, a 28-year-old construction worker from Lot 22 Graham Street, Plaisance, have been jointly charged with 2 counts of armed robbery, contrary to Section 222(c) of the Criminal Law Offenses Act, Chapter 801. They are accused of committing the armed robbery on March 14, 2025, at a Chinese supermarket located at Success Railway Embankment, ECD. Both suspects appeared before Magistrate Nurse at Sparendam Magistrates Court No. 1, where they pleaded not guilty. This matter has also been adjourned to May 6, 2025. Furthermore, Orwin Smith was additionally charged today with the following. Possession of firearm without license, contrary to Section 16(2) of the Firearms Act, Chapter 1605, specifically, 1 FNS 40 pistol. Possession of ammunition without license, contrary to Section 16(2) of the Firearms Act, Chapter 1605, specifically, 11.40 live rounds of ammunition. Smith has also been charged with armed robbery for the following incidents. Wang Jing, a 42-year-old female Chinese national from Enterprise, East Coast Demerara, from whom he allegedly stole $70,000 in cash and cellular phone cards valued at $10,000, Guyana currency. Daquan, Philadelphia, a 27-year-old security officer with Sheriff's Security Service, from whom he allegedly stole a 9mm pistol and 10 live matching rounds of ammunition, valued at $326,000, which occurred on February 23, 2025, at FEI 11 Chinese Supermarket, located at Melanie, East Coast Demerara. At about 12:15 HRS today, Smith appeared at the Vigilance Magistrates Court before His Worship Magistrate Sunil Scarce, where both charges were read to him. He pleaded not guilty, and the matters were postponed to April 28, 2025. Brother, sentenced to 23 years for murder. Guyana Times, after being found guilty of the 2018 murder of Taj Andrew Jarvis, 37-year-old Damien Bissoon, also known as Damien Sardina, and brother, was sentenced to 23 years in prison by Justice De Moon Young on Tuesday. During the sentencing hearing at the High Court in Georgetown, Justice Young set a starting sentence of 25 years but deducted 3 years for mitigating factors while adding 1 year due to aggravating circumstances, resulting in a final sentence of 23 years. The incident occurred on March 30, 2018, when Jarvis and a friend were walking along Alexander Street in Kitty, Georgetown. Upon crossing Bar Street, they were confronted by Bissoon, who demanded money before launching a violent attack. Bissoon fatally stabbed Jarvis, who was found with defensive wounds, indicating he was not the aggressor. Bissoon fled the scene and remained at large for nearly 4 years before surrendering to police in 2022. His initial trial in October 2024 ended in a mistrial, leading to a retrial in January 2025, where a jury unanimously found him guilty. Prosecutors Alvaro Ramatar and Muntaz Ali characterized the attack as senseless and unprovoked. They emphasized that even after stabbing Jarvis, Bissoon kicked him multiple times before fleeing without offering assistance. Witnesses identified Bissoon as the assailant, with forensic evidence bolstering the prosecution's case. During the hearing, emotional victim impact statements were presented. Jarvis's 15-year-old daughter, through a family member, shared her grief, describing her father as her best friend. She reflected on how her life would have been better had he been alive, revealing her struggles to cope with the loss and the pain felt by her grandmother. Jarvis's sister spoke of the family's devastation, recounting how their once close family had been irreparably shattered, with holidays losing their joy. She disclosed that her niece had attempted self-harm following her father's death and expressed a desire for the death penalty for Bissoon. She also conveyed her determination to find her brother's killer, believing she might have saved him had she been present. Defense attorney Ronald Bostwick argued that Bissoon's upbringing had been challenging, stating that he grew up in a financially struggling household with a history of domestic violence. A probation report indicated that Bissoon had not completed secondary school due to financial constraints and maintained his innocence, claiming he did not know Jarvis. A separate probation report from the Guyana Prison Service noted that although Bissoon had not participated in rehabilitative programs, he expressed a desire to engage in anger management and other training. Prison staff described him as respectful and quiet, with no recorded behavioral issues. Bostwick highlighted that Bissoon had no prior convictions and had voluntarily returned to face charges, urging the court to consider his age and potential for rehabilitation. When given the opportunity to speak, Bissoon extended his sympathies to Jarvis's family and pleaded for leniency. Prosecutor Ramatar, however, sought a severe sentence, arguing that the murder was brutal and unjustifiable. He noted Bissoon's continued refusal to accept responsibility despite being identified as the perpetrator, calling for a strong sentence to deter similar crimes. Justice Young stated that Bissoon did not show genuine remorse before imposing the 23-year sentence. With the case concluded, Jarvis's family expressed relief that justice had been served, although the pain of their loss remains immeasurable. House lot scam accused granted $150,000 bail. Guyana Times, Arifa Paul, a 28-year-old woman accused of defrauding multiple individuals out of millions in a house lot scam, has been granted bail. Paul, of Lot 721 Plantation Best, West Coast Demerara, appeared before Magistrate Fabio Azor at the Georgetown Magistrates Courts on Monday, where she was arraigned on 2 charges of obtaining money by false pretense. She pleaded not guilty and was granted bail set at $150,000, $75,000 for each charge. The accused was arrested last Thursday after one of her alleged victims recognized her at the housing ministry and alerted the police. According to reports, Paul posed as an employee of the ministry and persuaded 3 individuals to give her a total of $4.8 million, promising to secure house lots on their behalf. Investigators revealed that Paul first made contact with her victims through Facebook before meeting them in person. The first victim, a 33-year-old hairdresser from Nonpareil, East Coast Demerara, ECD, reportedly paid her $1.6 million between November and December 2024 for a house lot at Montrose, ECD. The second victim, a 23-year-old woman from Sophia, Greater Georgetown, allegedly handed over $600,000 on July 18, 2024, after being promised a lot in the Young Professional Scheme at Le Res Souvenir, ECD. The third victim, a 49-year-old goldsmith from Sophia, is said to have paid Paul $2.6 million between January and September 2024 for a house lot at Le Res Souvenir, ECD. The virtual complainants realized they had been scammed when they failed to receive the promised house lots. Following her court appearance, Paul was granted bail as police continue their investigations into the allegations. Her next court date is set for April 14th. Opposition protests should target U.S. administration, AG Nandlaw. Attorney General and Minister of Legal Affairs, Mohabir Anil Nandlaw, SC, criticized the People's National Congress/Reform, PNCR, and Alliance for Change, AFC, for organizing a protest in support of social media activist Melissa Melly Mel Atwell, asserting that the protest was misdirected and targeted the wrong government. Opposition leader Aubrey Norton and AFC leader Nigel Hughes, along with their supporters, gathered for a protest in Georgetown advocating for Atwell, who has been detained by U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, IC, an enforcement agency under the U.S. Department of Homeland Security. It is crucial to note that IC enforces federal laws regarding border control, customs, trade, and immigration, rather than issues related to freedom of speech. I see the opposition forces, the leader of the opposition, the PNC, and the Alliance for Change have joined the protest. Well, I want to make it very clear that they should not be protesting the government of Guyana. They need to protest the government of the United States of America, Minister Nandlaw stated during his Issues in the News program on Tuesday night. The Attorney General strongly rejected claims that the People's Progressive Party/Civic, PPP/C, administration was responsible for Atwell's arrest, emphasizing that she had repeatedly targeted the government and its officials without facing any repercussions. He noted that he had previously instituted legal proceedings against Atwell for libelous posts on her Facebook page that he described as false and fabricated. The fact that this person was allowed to attack our government for 3 or 4 years, every single hour, without any interference is a testimony of our government's commitment to freedom of expression and freedom of speech, he stressed. Minister Nandlaw reiterated that U.S. ICE is responsible for enforcing immigration laws, not matters related to freedom of speech. There are several publications on social media regarding reports of fraudulent conduct against this individual. Perhaps those are issues she is being investigated for, but they certainly have nothing to do with freedom of expression, the AG stated. According to reports, Atwell, also known as Holder, has been detained in an ICE facility in Louisiana, U.S., and is scheduled to appear before a federal judge in June for a master hearing. Guyana will not be bullied into talks while Venezuela continues to breach Argyle Agreement, President Ali. President Dr. Mohamed Irfan Ali has firmly rejected any dialogue with Venezuela while it continues to violate the Argyle Declaration, asserting that he will not be bullied into negotiations. In a media address on Saturday, President Ali responded to reports that Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro had requested dialogue under the Argyle Agreement. I have made it very clear that we are not going to be bullied, and I am not going to be bullied. This country and all of us in this country will stand firm on our sovereignty and territorial integrity, President Ali stated. The Guyanese head of state reiterated the nation's unwavering commitment to upholding the Argyle Declaration and the orders of the International Court of Justice, ICJ, urging the Venezuelan government to do the same. Guyana has never breached the Argyle Agreement. We have never done anything to disrupt peace in this region or to annoy, much less disrupt what happens in Venezuela, the president emphasized. President Ali further pointed to Venezuela's ongoing provocations, including planned elections for a governor in Guyanese territory, as clear violations of the Argyle Declaration. He has engaged with CARICOM Chair and Barbados Prime Minister Mia Mottley, as well as St. Vincent and the Grenadines Prime Minister Ralph Gonsalves, to assert Guyana's steadfast position in the border controversy. I expressed to the chair of CARICOM that we are not going to engage in discussions with Venezuela while they blatantly disregard the Argyle Declaration. There can be no expectation of a meeting when Venezuela continues to act in clear violation of the Argyle Declaration, President Ali asserted. Recent Venezuelan aggressions were noted on March 1, 2025, when the Venezuelan naval vessel ABV Guayquerí sailed approximately 700 meters into Guyana's exclusive economic zone, EZ, near the FPSO Prosperity. The Venezuelan vessel issued threatening radio communications claiming that FPSO Prosperity was operating in Venezuela's EZ before continuing southwest towards other FPSOs, delivering the same message. This incursion drew swift condemnation from the Guyanese government, CARICOM, the Organization of American States, OAS, the Commonwealth and key Western nations, including the United States, the United Kingdom and France. Furthermore, Guyana's Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation has filed a new case with the ICJ, seeking emergency measures to halt Venezuela's plans to hold an election in Essequibo. The ICJ acknowledged receipt of Guyana's filing on Friday, March 7. Venezuela's proposed vote, scheduled for March 25, 2025, could involve preparatory actions on Guyanese territory, which Georgetown perceives as a direct threat to its sovereignty. This marks the second time Guyana has sought intervention from the ICJ. In December 2023, the court ruled that Venezuela must refrain from actions that could alter the status quo in the disputed territory, where Guyana maintains administrative control. Georgetown argues that Caracas election plans are a clear violation of this order. The border controversy dates back over a century and centers on the oil-rich Essequibo region, which comprises two-thirds of Guyana's territory. While Guyana maintains that an 1899 arbitration ruling settled the issue, Venezuela claims the region as its own. New Education Ministry app allows you to track school construction progress. News source Guyana. The Ministry of Education is engaging the public in its monitoring of school and educational facility construction across the nation through a new digital interactive map. This tool will enable users to view construction progress from the comfort of their homes. Minister of Education Priya Manikchand announced that the interactive map will showcase all schools and educational facilities in Guyana that are currently under construction or undergoing repairs. We have been building a significant number of schools, primary, nursery, secondary, and dormitories across Guyana, the Education Minister stated. The interactive map will provide real-time updates on the status of various projects, allowing citizens to monitor contractor performance and the government's investments in educational infrastructure, according to the Education Ministry. Phil Mingo, head of information systems at the ministry, explained that the map offers critical information regarding each project, including the name of the school, the contractor, cost, and deadlines. You can see the contractor, comments, the closing date for tenders, when it was advertised, the region, the contract sum, any consultant involved, the date of the award, and the start date, he noted. Minister Manikchand emphasized that the application will enhance transparency and accessibility of information, even as the ministry tackles challenges in executing these projects. It was reported that the application is currently in the testing phase. This initiative is part of the broader strategy by the government to improve the quality of education and promote long-term sustainable development throughout the nation. Last year, the education minister and her team faced criticism from the president during an early morning meeting due to delays in various school projects. $3.3 million electronic health record system to launch in 18 months. News source Guyana. The Ministry of Health has signed a $3.3 million contract with RioMed Limited, a UK-based company, to develop and implement an electronic health record (HR) system. The contract was signed on Tuesday at the Ministry of Health's Brickdam office by Permanent Secretary Malcolm Watkins and Managing Director of RioMed, Mario Mohammed, in the presence of Minister of Health Dr. Frank Anthony, Inter-American Development Bank, IDB, Country Representative Lorena Solorzano Salazar, and British High Commissioner to Guyana Jane Miller. Minister Anthony stated that the IDB-funded project will significantly enhance patient access to their health records while addressing many challenges associated with the existing paper-based system. One of our goals with this system is to ensure that every citizen has a unique identifier, enabling them to access their health records efficiently. Currently, despite our best efforts with manual records, searching for documents can be time-consuming, as papers may be misplaced, the health minister explained. Once implemented, the EHR system will allow patients to make doctor appointments via their smartphones. According to the Ministry of Health, a legislative framework is already in place to protect patient information, with strict penalties for breaches. Healthcare professionals could face fines of at least $20 million for disclosing or sharing patient health records, while companies could incur penalties as high as $100 million. The Georgetown Public Hospital Corporation, GPHC, is set to pilot the project. Chief Executive Officer, CEO, of GPHC, Robbie Rambaran, emphasized that the project will enhance the quality and delivery of patient care. Implementing this EHR system will transition us from traditional paper-based processes to a streamlined digital solution that empowers our clinicians, improves patient outcomes, and enhances the overall experience for everyone who entrusts us with their care, Rambaran stated. Currently, separate records are maintained for various clinics and departments at the Georgetown Hospital. The EHR system will streamline these records, allowing for easier access to patients' information. The IDB country representative described the project as transformative and an important step toward ensuring that Guyanese have access to high-quality and timely healthcare. The EHR implementation represents more than just an investment in digital infrastructure. It signifies a new way of delivering health services and improving service quality for the population, she noted. The IDB is aware of the necessity for harmonized health systems, from primary care to the national level, maximizing resource efficiency while providing adequate healthcare across all 10 administrative regions. Mario Mohammed, Managing Director of RioMed Limited, explained that the project aims to enhance the quality, safety, and efficiency of healthcare delivery in Guyana. He emphasized RioMed's commitment to the successful implementation of the EHR system. The project is expected to be developed and implemented within a period of 18 months. Government justified in using One Guyana slogan on national documents, Nanlaw. Attorney General Anil Nanlaw has addressed criticism from APNU plus AFC Member of Parliament, MP, Amanza Walton-Desser regarding the inclusion of the One Guyana slogan on the newly launched 10-year passport. He asserted that it is not a political slogan but rather a unifying national concept. In a statement released on Tuesday night, Nanlaw defended the government's decision, emphasizing that the slogan, which also appears on the $2,000 bill, embodies a national ethos of unity and togetherness that transcends political affiliations. The One Guyana slogan is not a political slogan, Nanlaw stated. It is a unifying concept. It denotes our national objective, one people, one nation, one common destiny. It serves as a rallying cry to bring together the diverse cultures and races of our country. Nanlaw further elaborated that President Irfan Ali has utilized the slogan in numerous speeches as part of his broader effort to foster national unity. The Attorney General clarified that the slogan has been integrated into various government initiatives, and its inclusion in national documents like the passport aligns with the government's ongoing efforts to promote unity. This government has every right to formulate a logo or slogan that captures its ethos, Nanlaw remarked. The ethos of this government is national unity, and we want to reflect that in every one of our policies and programs. We make no apology for that. In response to Walton-Desser's criticism, Nanlaw pointed out that the One Guyana slogan has been embraced by President Ali and is not merely a promotion by the People's Progressive Party, PPP. He noted that it had not been previously rejected in other government materials. I have never seen this slogan come from Freedom House, Nandlal continued. It is not a concept promoted by the PPP as a political slogan, but rather as a policy that reflects the values of the government. He also referenced the concept of party paramountcy, which has historically been promoted by the party that Walton Desser supports. It is ironic that the person accusing us of using a political slogan seems to forget the history of their own party, Nandlal commented. Suspected outbreak of hand, foot, and mouth disease in Region 4. Newsroom. The Ministry of Health, in collaboration with regional authorities, is investigating a potential outbreak of hand, foot, and mouth disease, HFMD, in Region 4, Demerara Maheka. This highly contagious viral infection primarily affects young children, especially those of primary school age, although individuals of all ages can also be impacted. An initial assessment was conducted by a team of experts from the Ministry of Health on March 11th, followed by a second visit on March 18th. Samples have been collected and sent to the Caribbean Public Health Agency, CARPHA, for confirmation of the pathogen responsible for the outbreak. The ministry has issued a public notice outlining the common symptoms of HFMD, which include fever, sore throat, painful sores or blisters in the mouth, and a rash on the hands, feet, and sometimes the buttocks. Symptoms typically appear between 2 to 7 days after exposure to an infected person. Their bodily secretions, such as saliva, blister fluid or feces, or contaminated surfaces and objects. While HFMD is highly contagious, it is generally not severe, with most cases resolving within 7 to 10 days. Treatment focuses on relieving pain and fever and preventing dehydration. To mitigate the risk of infection, the Ministry of Health recommends the following preventive measures. Wash hands regularly with soap and water. Avoid close contact with anyone exhibiting symptoms. Sanitize and disinfect frequently touched surfaces and shared items. Parents are advised to keep children who show symptoms of HFMD at home until they are no longer contagious. If symptoms persist for more than 1 week or if a child's condition worsens, parents are urged to seek medical attention at the nearest health facility. The Ministry of Health remains committed to safeguarding the health of all citizens and will continue to provide updates as new information becomes available. Details of the GRA's case against the Mohammeds for tax evasion and breach of tax exemption conditions. Mohammed's attorney engages jur. Newsroom. Businessman Azruddin Mohammed and associates are accused of undervaluing vehicles to reduce tax liabilities and breaching conditions of their tax exemption agreements. Azruddin's father, Nazar Shell Mohammed, indicated that a legal response would be forthcoming. In a statement to Newsroom, Mr. Mohammed referred to his attorney, Syed Durjan, who confirmed that those accused have formally requested from the Guyana Revenue Authority, GRA, an explanation and justification for the claims made against them. The GRA's case against Azruddin Mohammed arose after he posted receipts on Facebook showing that he paid over $98.6 million in taxes for 2 Land Cruisers and a Lamborghini. Following this, the GRA notified Azruddin that the taxes he paid were based on values he submitted, which were found to be underestimated. Azruddin Mohammed, a social media figure, has been cited in 3 different cases related to vehicle undervaluation. There have been questions raised regarding the timing of the GRA's actions. Guyana operates under a voluntary tax compliance system, whereby importers submit declarations based on self-assessed values, and taxes are paid accordingly. The GRA, utilizing principles aligned with WTO/WCO standards, tax legislation, and anti-money laundering regulations, verifies the true acquisition costs of the imports and adjusts the applicable collectible tax accordingly. Furthermore, the Customs Act permits proceedings to commence any time within 7 years after the alleged offense. The vehicles in question were acquired between 2020 and 2023 and are part of the Mohammed family's fleet. In Azruddin Mohammed's case, the GRA instructed him to pay the additional due amounts. Summaries of the cases against Azruddin Mohammed and associates. Azruddin Mohammed, reassessment of customs duty and tax on Lamborghini. Vehicle, 2020 Lamborghini Roadster PZZ 4000. Facts. The GRA conducted an investigation and found the declared value inconsistent with similar vehicles. GRA contention: due to the undervaluation, Azruddin is required to pay an additional $371,781,167. Azruddin Mohammed, reassessment of customs duty and tax on Land Cruiser. Vehicle: 2021 Toyota Land Cruiser PAB 4000. Facts: the GRA raised doubts regarding the accuracy of the valuation. GRA contention: an additional $24,641,271 is claimed due to undervaluation. Hannah Mohammed, breach of tax exemptions on $479 million Ferrari. Vehicle: 2020 Ferrari 488. Facts: Hannah Mohammed was granted tax exemption for this vehicle. GRA contention: she breached exemption conditions by failing to live in Guyana for 183 days annually, not reporting to the GRA every 6 months, and not using the vehicle for its intended purpose. Next steps: Hannah must justify why the GRA should not demand $479,743,489, which was foregone in customs duties and taxes. Bibi Mohammed, breach of tax exemptions on $320 million Rolls-Royce Cullinan. Vehicle: 2023 Rolls-Royce Cullinan PE 500. Facts: Bibi was granted a tax exemption. GRA contention: she failed to report to the GRA every 6 months and did not use the vehicle for the intended purpose. Next steps: Bibi must provide reasons why the GRA should not pursue $320,064,242 in foregone taxes. Leslie Kahn, breach of tax exemptions on $61 million Land Rover. Vehicle: 2023 Land Rover, Range Rover Pack 9000. Facts: Leslie Kahn was granted a tax exemption. GRA contention: he also failed to report to the GRA and did not use the vehicle for its intended purpose. Next steps: Leslie must explain why the GRA should not seek $61,485,982 in foregone taxes. The individuals mentioned have been contacted by the GRA and given 14 days to respond. As noted, those accused have written to the GRA requesting justifications and evidence concerning the claims made against them.